Hi friends, welcome to Galaxy Online Learning. I am Desai and today we are going to study the first chapter of history, that is the rise of nationalism in Europe. In the last lecture, history lecture, we had already studied about nationalism in India and how the abstract idea of nationalism was personified and how the nationalistic leaders used the idea of nationalism for the freedom of India. Today we are going to see how nationalism spread in the European countries. Now if you look at the first page of this chapter, that is the third page of your textbook, you will find a print, okay? That is the figure 1. This was been drawn by a famous French artist, Frederic Saury in 1848. He has visualized his dream of a world made up of democratic and social republics. Till then, the world was mostly ruled by monarchs or kings, emperors. So he was dreaming a world where there will be nation states. The world will be made up of democratic and social republics. So what you see in the first print of the series shows the people of Europe and America. Okay, the men and women, the young and the old, the people, the rich and the poor, the people from different classes. Okay, they are marching together in a long train and they are offering their homage to the Statue of Liberty. As you have studied last year, the concept of liberty was personified as a lady. Okay, so here you see the Statue of Liberty. In the left hand of the statue is the torch of enlightenment, and in the right hand you see the Charter of the Rights of Man, which you have already studied last year. Okay. Then what you see is that on the foreground, what you see is the shattered remains of the symbols of the monarchical institutions. Okay, here you would see in the foreground. Then, in Saury's utopian vision, the people of the world are grouped as distinct nations. They are identified by the flags and national costumes. You see different types of flags and people in different costumes. Those are the national costumes, the national flags of the people. Okay, and who is in the forefront leading this procession are the United States and Switzerland, which had already become nation states when Saury had drawn this figure. Okay, then they are followed by France, which has just reached the Statue of Liberty. France is followed by Germany, which has the black, red and golden flag. At that time, when Saury created this picture, German people were fighting. They were trying to come together, okay, and wanted to have a German-speaking national state. Following the German peoples are the people of Austria, the kingdoms of two Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary and Russia. And what you see is that from above, Jesus Christ, saints and angels are looking at them, looking at the procession. Why Jesus Christ, angels, saints have been shown as a symbol of fraternity, a common interest among the nations of the world. Okay. So during the 19th century, nationalism emerged as a force which brought about sweeping changes in political and mental world of Europe. Okay. The end result of this change was the emergence of the nation state in place of the multinational dynastic rules. Before the French Revolution, there were dynastic rules in different parts of Europe, or you can say the different parts of the world. Okay, but after this, new nation states started emerging. Okay, a nation state was one in which the majority of its citizens, not only the rulers, the majority of the citizens came to develop a sense of commonness, a common identity, and they shared the same history, they shared the same descent. So, nation state means people or the rulers, and the rulers too, coming from the same descent, having common identity. Before the dynastic rule, the aristocrats had their own different languages. The common people were different, their cultures were different, but they were still under one dynastic rules. They were speaking different languages, their descent was different, but they were united just because they were ruled by one single monarch. Okay. So, now in this chapter, we are going to look at the diverse processes through which nation states and nationalism came into being in the 19th century Europe. So, in the first unit, we are going to study about the French Revolution and the idea of nation. You have studied the French Revolution last year. Okay, in detail you have studied the French Revolution last year. Okay. So, the first expression of nationalism in Europe came due to French Revolution in 1789. Before that, French was a territorial state, full-fledged territorial state. Okay, means a monarch was ruling the state. Okay, it was ruled by the Bourbon dynasty. The political and constitutional changes, political as well as constitutional changes that came in wake of the French Revolution led to the transfer of sovereignty from the monarch to the French citizens. From the States General, it came to the National Assembly. You have already learned about it. Okay? So, this revolution proclaimed that it was the people who would henceforth constitute the nation. The people will constitute the nation, and these people, the common people, will shape the destiny of this nation. So, from the very beginning, the French revolutionaries, they introduced various measures and practices that could create a sense of collective identity, a sense of unity, okay, amongst the French people. The ideas of the fatherland, la patrie, and les citoyens, that is the citizen, emphasize the notion of a united country, okay, united community, enjoying equal rights under one constitution. Before that, you already know, there were different estates and each estate was treated differently, right? So, the law for each estate was different. So, the French revolutionaries emphasized that the notion of a united community enjoying equal rights and under a single constitution, the same one constitution having equal rights to all the people. A new French flag, the tricolor, was prepared and it was going to replace the royal flag. The Estate General was dismantled and it was now called the National Assembly. Okay, a body of active citizens. That was the National Assembly. New hymns were composed, oaths taken, and martyrs commemorated, all in the name of one nation. A centralized administrative system was put in place to rule this country, to rule the nation. A centralized administrative system was put, which formulated uniform laws to everyone in the nation. Okay. Internal custom duties and dues were abolished, and the uniform weights and measures uniform system of weights and measures was established, was adopted. Regional dialects were discouraged. There were so many different dialects in France at that time. People of different areas speaking different type of French. But the French which was spoken and written in Paris was considered as the official common language of the nation. Okay. The revolution is further declared. What did the revolution after the French Revolution came into force and the people of France started ruling France? The revolutionaries, they proclaimed that it was the mission and the destiny of the French to help other peoples of Europe to become nation states. Okay? The French Revolution said that it is the mission and the destiny of the French to make other people in Europe live in a nation state. So, when the news of the French Revolution reached other parts of Europe, the students and the educated middle class, they started setting up Jacobins Club, just like they were Jacobins Club in France. Okay, this Jacobin Club, the activities and the campaigns of this Jacobin Club paved an easy way for the French army to enter other parts of Europe. Okay, like in Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, and much of Italy in 1790s. At that time, Napoleon was ruling France. He had been the monarch, he had become the monarch of France, and he had destroyed democracy in France. Okay. Now, with the outbreak of this revolutionary wars, the French armies began to carry the ideas of nationalism abroad. Okay, the idea of nationalism was carried to other parts of Europe. Okay. When a large portion of the territory came under the control of Napoleon, who was the monarch of France, Napoleon started introducing many of the reforms which he had already introduced in France. Okay. Napoleon had, by becoming a monarch, he had already destroyed democracy in France. But in the administrative field, he had brought some revolutionary changes, some revolutionary principles in order to make the whole system more efficient and more rational. The Civil Code of 1804, which Napoleon had brought, which is also called in the world as the Napoleonic Code, was now established in all parts of the new conquered area of the French army. Okay, this code was exported into the regions which were now under French control. Now, this Napoleonic Code cancelled certain privileges which were already there for the French people before the revolution. This Napoleonic Code cancelled the provisions of privileges based on birth. Okay, because before Napoleon, the people who were clergies, who were aristocratic, had many privileges just because they were born in an aristocratic family. So the privileges by birth were cancelled. He established equality before law and secured the right to property. Okay. So this code was exported to the Dutch Republic, which had now under French control, in Switzerland, in Italy and Germany. Napoleon, what he did, he simplified administrative divisions. He abolished the feudal system in these new regions and freed peasants. He freed the peasants, the small farmers, from slavery and manorial use. As you know, last year you studied the small peasants, what they had to do? They had to do manorial use, they had to give grains, they had to give fruits, they had to give their services free of charge to the aristocrat, the manor. Okay, so all these manorial dues were abolished by Napoleon. In the towns too, guild restrictions were removed. Transport and communication systems were improved. Peasants, artisans, workmen and new businessmen, they enjoyed this newfound freedom. Okay, in the newly controlled areas. Businessmen and small scale producers realized that uniform laws, standard weights and measures and a common national currency would facilitate the movement and exchange of goods and capital from one region to another. So it was a great thing for small businessmen, for small scale producers. Now they could do business throughout the region very easily, because now the laws in all throughout the region were same. Currency was the same. There was no taxes, no duties on movement. So that was very easy now for them to do business. Okay. However, in the areas conquered, the reaction of the local population to the French rule was mixed. Why? Because initially the people were happy. People saw that the French army is bringing liberty to them. They will become free. But as time passed on, okay, later what they found was that though in administrative things were improved, it had become very easy for them to live, but there was no political freedom. Okay. So, administrative arrangements did not go hand to hand with the political freedom. Increased taxation, censorship, there was increase in taxes, there was censorship, and young people from the villages were forcibly taken by the French army to become soldiers in the French army so that they can conquer more areas of the Europe. And these people, the common people didn't like. So their response to the French army was mixed. Okay, and this is how the French Revolution helped the nationalism, the idea of nationalism, cultivate among people in other parts of Europe. Now, in the next lecture, we are going to study about the making of nationalism in Europe. So we end the first unit over here. Please go through this unit, okay? And as usual, you are free to ask me questions personally. Okay? Thank you.